Welcome to Stanley. Perhaps its most striking feature is the nut, but it's also home to some of the nicest seafood in the world. Former Prime Minister of Australia, and more recently it was the scene of a Hollywood movie, The Light Between the Oceans. Let's come and explore this beautiful town and the surrounding scenery.
Give us a 6, 7.
As you drive into Stanley, it's hard not to notice the giant rock dominating the landscape. That's the nut, a volcanic plug that has become the symbol of this little town. We'll be heading up there later, but first, let's explore what makes Stanley one of Tasmania's most charming destinations.
We're starting our journey at Godfreys Beach, a popular destination for locals and tourists alike. The beach here is quite small, but when the tide is out, it's quite expansive. Right behind me is the Stanley Penguin Conservation and Observatory. It's a wonderful spot to actually get up close to the little seabirds. So if you're coming in the summer, you probably don't want to get here until well after 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock even when it gets dark, because that's actually when they start coming out of the Bass Strait.
Stanley feels like stepping back in time. Many of the cottages lining these streets date back to the 1800s, and because so much of the historic town has been preserved, walking around almost feels like wandering through an open-air museum. But despite its history, Stanley doesn't feel frozen in time. People still live here, cafes are busy, and fishing boats continue to head out each day, just as they have for generations. If Stanley looks familiar, you may have seen it before without even realising. Several scenes from The Light Between Oceans were filmed here, with Stanley's beautifully preserved streets and historic buildings providing the perfect backdrop for the period drama. This church is one of the locations featured in the film, and it's easy to see why the filmmakers chose Stanley. Very little modern development interrupts the town's historic character. Stanley is also the birthplace of Joseph Lyons, Australia's 10th Prime Minister and the only Tasmanian ever to hold the office, together with his wife Enid Lyons, who later became the first woman elected to Australia's House of Representatives. Of course, no visit to Stanley would be complete without seafood.
If you haven't been to Stanley before, there's a very good world famous fish and chip spot, Hursey's, famous for catching crayfish, some of the best crayfish in the world down here. Ooh, yes please.
If you're after fresh fish and chips, or Tasmania's famous Southern Rock Lobster, often called crayfish, this is one of the best places in town to enjoy it. It doesn't get much fresher than this. But towering above everything is the reason many people make the trip to Stanley in the first place: the nut. There are two ways to reach the top. You can take the chairlift for an easy ride with fantastic views, or tackle the walking track. I decided to do both.
We have the nut behind us. There is their chairlift also. The rest of the gang are actually going to get up there by the chairlift.
The climb is surprisingly short, taking only around 15 to 20 minutes for most people, but don't let the distance fool you. It's steep enough to get your heart pumping. Thankfully, there are plenty of places to stop, catch your breath, and enjoy the increasingly spectacular views over Stanley. Once you reach the top, the landscape changes completely. Instead of one lookout, you're greeted by a network of walking tracks that circle the plateau, revealing completely different views in every direction. One of the biggest surprises is just how varied it is up here. Coastal heath, dramatic cliffs, wetlands, seabirds, and sweeping views all packed into a relatively easy walk. It's much more than simply climbing to a lookout.
What is the nut? Well, it's actually an extinct volcano.
The nut isn't actually a mountain, it's the solid core of an ancient volcano. The softer rock around it eroded away, leaving behind this dramatic flat-topped formation rising straight out of the coastline. From almost anywhere in Stanley, it's impossible to miss. Every corner seems to reveal another perspective. Looking back across Stanley, out over Bass Strait, or along Tasmania's rugged northwest coastline, it's easy to understand why this is considered one of the state's most iconic landscapes.
I think we're about halfway, or a bit over halfway, and we're about to descend into some different scenery.
There's a familiar face.
Whether you choose to walk or take the chairlift, visiting the Nut is something I'd recommend to anyone coming to Stanley. It's not just about the views, it's about experiencing one of Tasmania's most unique landscapes from every angle.
A wallaby or a macropod, can you see?
It's like a hidden forest. You would not know that you're up on top of this old extinct volcano. So I was kind of in two minds about this video. On the one hand, these videos are great for getting a bit of a sneak peek into what places are like and whether they're worth visiting. But with somewhere like this, I don't know, it kind of almost spoils the surprise. When I came up here the last time, I was just expecting to walk around this sort of flat, barren rock. But I was totally blown away to see this amazing enchanted forest that we're walking through.
Thank you.
So there you have it. For those who are interested in catching the chairlift up, it's about $22 for a return trip per adult, a little bit cheaper for a child, and you can also buy a family ticket as well. Is it worth it? I think so.
I hope you've enjoyed exploring Stanley with me. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Don't forget to watch my Highfield House video for another perspective of Stanley and the Nut. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.